Good afternoon, everybody. It's 4:30 on a Thursday. Decided to take a walk and came up to the Ramble trail. So I got a little bit curious. So I went and traced that wire. It does eventually lead to a telephone pole, but it's already been cut a couple of times. So I'm not entirely sure. Like, I feel like it's a bit of a gray area as far as legality is concerned. Which usually I would, like, just stay away from altogether because, I don't have the best of luck on some things, but, it's just one of those things that I just kind of have to do it, so, I'm gonna look into it. From the looks of things, it's probably not worth the trouble, but I wanted to make sure that it was, in fact, previously cut. And there's actually 2 lines, and they've both been cut already. So, like, before I got to them. So, I mean, they weren't being used. I do think that they may have been there all along, just a tree fell and knocked them down. And that's what broke them. That's my thought process. They have been there for 6 to 8 months at least, minimum. Because there's big portions of it that's buried under 2 and 3 inches of dirt. So, I mean, could there have been a small landslide? Yeah. Could there have been a bunch of leaves down? Sure. But I'm pretty sure that if it was going anywhere and it needed fixed, it would have been fixed by now. It has for sure been 2 months. Like, for sure. My expert opinion would say it would have been about 8 months. So yeah. I was checking it out. I was looking into it. I did bring the tools with me, but, right, like I said, it's 4:30 on a Thursday. They're still working down there. A woman just passed me walking her dog. The gray area has me a bit nervous. So, I figured it's probably something I'm going to want to look at probably later in the day. Like, come up here at like 5:30 and then work on it for a few hours. And then do that, or work on it for an hour or two, then walk back. Not only is it probably more in quantity, it also needs more processing, and it's like 3 to 4 times further. Jeez, chipmunk. And it's about 3 to 4 times further away from the house. So, carrying 30 pounds from here would be 3 to 4 times harder than carrying 30 pounds from where I was before. So I just gotta decide how I want to go about doing it. Like, part of me is thinking that I'm just gonna keep stacking it up, and like, if I carry 10 to 20 pounds at a time, and I'll just keep stacking it up, and go from there instead of trying to take all of it at the same time. Because one thing's for sure, I'm never gonna stop walking this trail. I might go other places, but this trail is by far my favorite trail. It's a lot like, okay, it's isolated enough that you don't really see people, but every once in a while you can see people. So if I were to, like, fall and break my leg, like, somebody would probably find me eventually, like, within 2 days probably. But yet it's far enough away that you don't see people every single time you're out. So it's, it's as easy and as hard as you want it to be. Like, I could walk this nice flat path, or I could go up there. It's and you can go as long as you want to, pretty much. I mean, for instance, this whole length of this trail is probably about 1.5 miles. No, it's probably 2 miles. I was gonna say 1.5 miles, but it's probably an easy 2 miles to go from start to finish. And then if you decide you could turn around and come back, it would be 4 miles, or you could follow through and go through the next town and go to the public trail on the far side And then that comes out to about 10 miles. I've done that, I think, last video or the video before. And it's not bad, but there is a bit of a hill. Now, I mean, when don't you have a bit of a hill? And, or you could go and do what I usually do, and I go about halfway on this trail, and I cut down over and go on the public trail, which is usually about 5 miles. And, you know, there's a little bit of hill, there's a little bit of uphill, a little bit of downhill, but that's usually my normal. So, like, as far as this trail's concerned, it's so versatile. Like, I can go on trail, I can go off into the woods, I can go down near civilization, I can find the public trail, I can walk the road. I mean, from this location, there are so many places you could go. So it's just one of the trails that I frequent very often, because, quite frankly, hiking to the one that we come out on here, like the one we leave this trail to go to, is kind of a hike on its own. Like, getting there is probably about a half a mile. I could take a bus most of the way, but it's a pretty steep hill to get to the actual trail. And my ankle hates me every time I do it. So I don't make a habit of it. And that trail never really changes. And even though I complain that there's very few people, it's a much higher chance of running into people there. And like I said, I don't do anything illegal. It's just, it's complicated. It's complicated. I don't want to get into that whole rabbit hole of, you know, the friend scenario and meeting new people and, you know, how much of a double-edged sword that can be. But I feel like I got my point across there. So I don't like going that way because I have to walk a ton uphill. And when I do actually get to the trail and I follow the trail, if I don't go, like, it's not a far enough hike to turn around anywhere before I hit any more big hills. Like, if I were to turn around at a comfortable spot, it'd be about at the tunnel. Now, I usually turn around about a quarter mile to a half mile before the tunnel because there's a bunch of downhill slopes and I don't want to have to turn around to climb back up. So that's why I usually don't take that trail. And then the other public trail that I make videos on sometimes, the one where I don't like to go because of the thugs in training. Oh my god, the bugs. But I don't like to go because of, like, the thugs in training. And it's kind of short, and you don't have a lot of options. Like, down there, a large portion of it's posted. You're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be there. And the trail's relatively short. So it's really not very worth it for me. Like, I usually go down there if I'm, you know, just looking for something to kill 20 minutes. Pretty butterfly. It landed, and it was a good picture, and then it flew away. So, with that in mind, that I'd be coming back here quite often, you know, it wouldn't be a big deal for me to process out 10 pounds and process out 10 pounds over and over and over again until I'm done. I initially wanted to take it with the coating, but not the steel wire was my initial plan. But the actual copper wires just kind of slide right out. So, like, taking all that extra weight would be good for the environment, good for the money, but it's just kind of a rip-off all around. You know, I'd be carrying so much more, and I imagine that I'd be getting the same price either way. So I'd be selling plastic to whoever I sell it to, and like I said, regardless of how the world is, I try to be fair. So, you know, it's my t-shirts that are coming out. You guys are gonna have to start supporting me. I'm gonna put a t-shirt link in the description. Yeah, it's gonna have, like, it is what it is. Well, I guess I can't use that anymore. Somebody else took it, but it's gonna be like, just because everybody else is a scumbag doesn't mean you have to be. It could be like on the front of the shirt. Just because everybody else is a scumbag, on the back of the shirt could say, doesn't mean you have to be. That should be a freaking fortune cookie. Yeah, I think that... Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm pretty sure I came up with it is what it is. Like, maybe not like... I might not have been the first person to ever say it. But I was like one of the first people to really use it as like a slogan kind of thing. Like, I was one of the first people to actually use it in like everyday conversation. And then they started coming out with it on freaking t-shirts and wall paintings and mother freaking keychains. It's just like, it's such a simplistic saying. And like, it really more or less shocks me that it wasn't on t-shirts, you know, in like the 70s. Oh, it might have been. I might be trying to take credit for something that's actually been out for a really long time, and I just never paid attention until I started saying it myself. But I know the scumbag one isn't a t-shirt. It's too lengthy. It's a mouthful. People would have to stop and actually read it. That doesn't sell well when people have to actually do work. Alright, I don't know what else to say. That's pretty much as far as I wanted to go with this. I was kind of guesstimating if I wanted to walk back. See, I could go that way. I haven't been up there yet. I just have a feeling that it dead ends or loops over to that steep part of the trail. I was guesstimating if I was going to walk to the Eagles or not. I still don't know. I mean, I'm over halfway there now. Oh, hang on. See, somebody else just came through on like a utility quad. Good thing about it is the very strong gas fumes keeping the bugs away. I don't know what he was doing. They should be about done working, so probably start seeing people down here. Oh, it's messing with my sinuses. The smell of gas, the fumes. It's not good. Not good. Oh, it's gross. What's the plan for today? Well, initially, I thought I was going to walk for a little while. And then I was going to decide which way I wanted to go back. Whether I wanted to cut down through or head back and go up over a steep hill and go down a back road to my house. And then I was considering processing up the small amount of copper I have to process and then cutting the grass. I don't want to, I'm split again. Like, I don't know if I want to cut the grass, like, now, because it, you know, if I wait too long, it's going to keep stalling the freaking cheap, lawnmower, but I don't want to cut it every week, you know, it sounds like making more work for myself. But if I wait too long, I got a freaking grandpa push it through the yard, so it doesn't, like, choke up. And that's super annoying. So I'm like, I could probably almost do it quicker with a pair of scissors. Run out there with one of those big old farmer size, just cut my own grass like that. It'd probably be quicker and more effective. Then when it stalls, you can blame me. I think I know what the problem is, but I'm not a small engines guy, so I can't be sure. And I certainly don't know how to fix it. I mean, if I took it apart, it'd be more likely I would break it permanently than actually repair it. So, I'm not going to mess with that. Figured when and if it stops working, she'll just have to shell out and buy another piece of garbage. Had a surprise visitor today. Real weird. My new probation officer and my old probation officer dropped by. Don't completely know why. Of course, it was real early in the morning, so I wasn't like the most talkative to start with. And good old Granny trying to control the situation. And, you know, saying this and that. He made remarks about me getting a job. And I did put in that application for the municipal building. I kind of stalled off for a while because I couldn't find my resume. But I found an old application that I guess I didn't turn in. Had a lot of the information on it that I needed. So I just used that and, you know, copied it. So that hopefully, well, I don't know either way. But apparently he's going to help find me a job. Apparently it's going to be yard work. That's a double-edged sword, because, you know, my allergies ain't great. Like, I can cut my grass, and it's alright. But if I cut 3 and 4 grasses, then my allergies are ruined for the day. And I can't be in the sun for a really long period of time. So I'm going to have to get one of those there, like, I'll get one of those Under Armour shirts, I think. To hopefully, you know, change that. But, yeah, it's just super weird to me. Because this has been going on for 5 years. They drop by here and there on rare occasions. And they never once mentioned me getting a job. Like, never once really even, you know, said anything about it. And, like I said, I don't put a lot of effort into it. Because, well, you know, it's just hard. It's hard, because I don't really want to be here. I feel that the best parts of my life were stolen from me. And I don't really want to work for something that's just going to get taken from me again. That's just how I feel. I mean, am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. Everyone should work. Everyone should work. But everyone should get compensated. And everyone should have their freedom, too. So, it's a bit of another gray area. Because I'm like, yeah, you know, I want to be a functional member of society. I want to work towards something. I like to believe that I'm used to be well-driven. And I used to be fairly intelligent. But, you know, that ship kind of sailed when you accused me of something, had no proof, and tried to lock me up when I, you know, basically did absolutely nothing to deserve it. Or at least what I got accused for didn't happen. I may have done things to deserve some sort of punishment at one point or another, but just their reasoning and what happened was just completely bogus. And taking away 5 years of someone's life is not the right way. Well, I mean, to be completely honest, most of my childhood was taken by my father, so, you know, it's one of those things. I don't want to get too into that either. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this one pretty lighthearted. I just wanted to keep the conversation going. They dropped by. Dude was talking about helping me find a job. Don't know how I feel about that. Hey. Alright. Gonna end this up. This was ever so slightly weird. Somebody was already taking pictures of the eagle. I don't know why I didn't anticipate that. Should've, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Rather nice, kind of chatty. She's actually gonna send me some really nice pictures because she got like a super awesome camera. And mine's a rather cheap GoPro clone. So she's gonna send me a few really cool pictures. I'll tag them at the end of this video. Hopefully, as long as I got them. Yeah, the conversation stayed pretty. Conversation was kind of lengthy. And turns out that I thought this whole time that the eagles would be like, you know, knocking down the chipmunk population. But apparently, they go all the way to water sources and get fish for them and the baby. Okay, like, I could buy that. I can get into that. Like, I went to Conowingo, and there was a lot of eagles down there chowing on fish. So I can get behind that, but I kind of had this idea in my head that because they're right next to them, you know, they'd just be like picking off chipmunks like it was going out of style. But I've been wrong before. When after she started talking about it, and I actually put some thought into it, if you're flying, we really ain't too far away from the water source. So for them, it wouldn't be that bad. Like, it's like 2 miles to my right, if you could take a straight shot. Yeah, I don't want this to get too lengthy. I'll put a bunch of pictures at the end, hopefully. And see you next time.